Watch fans, today we're going to be looking at a dive watch that since 1953 has been giving the Submariner a true dive for its money. Stay tuned. So one of the most amazing watches that really stands out but almost never gets talked about is going to be from the Blancpain. With the Blancpain, you actually have a family that gives you a dive watch that was actually truly being pushed or driven towards a specific group during an era where scuba diving or sport diving was actually going to be new. So in 1953, Rolex does release their Rolex Submariner, which comes out of Tudor, but so does the House of Blancpain. So with that being said, the first woman actually to own a Swiss watch company listens to her nephew, and here's what he has to say as he starts to come over to her house. And one of hers being right off the French Riviera, and being diving is the new thing, the new trend, but there's not a lot of people who can do it. So this watch actually being made or designed for the French, for their divers, their professional divers and military, this actually would be that watch that would stand up and stand out. It gives you so many different unique little nuances that you don't find everywhere else on a watch that I really feel stand out and really should be spoken about. We're looking at the 50 Fathoms, the 5015, the re-release in 2019 to pay homage to the '07, which still began in 1953. Whereas that may be a mouthful, do understand so is the quality and presentation of this specific watch. So the Automatique is definitely one of those watches that I feel you have to take a deeper look at, and you'll see all the little small details that they put into it that give it just an amazing presence. So when we look at the watch itself, you'll see that there are actually a few other things that are different on this one versus the other models. First being the dial. This is actually a ceramic dial. Yes, a ceramic dial, and it's on this Blancpain, and it's definitely giving you a feature that you don't find everywhere else. But I love the color of blue that you get there. When we step right outside of that and we talk about the next feature itself, even the bezel actually has a sapphire coating. So just like the crystal on the actual watch, you do get that sapphire covering on the bezel itself. That makes it where the luminescence on this watch actually can stand out a lot more. So you get a lot more lume, you get a lot more visibility underwater, so it stays true to its DNA of being a professional dive watch. It's really going to serve its purpose. And I really felt that they did a fantastic job of doing that. Even when you get down to little small things, like having lume on the second hand. Having lume on your second hand while diving, you may not think is very important, but to divers and people in that profession or in sport, they really do, because it's one of those things that gives them instant access to see where they are, not just by bezel timing, but also having it on that second hand gives them just a little bit more accuracy, and they can actually report a little bit better, as well as have more clear understanding of where they are in their dive. I think that those are all fantastic traits. Let's not even talk about the fact that this watch is going to be in 18 karat rose gold, and it gives a nice weight to it. You get a nice top weight, and then they finish that by moving it into an integrated rubber and leather strap. But this is actually Barennia leather. Barennia leather is going to be one of the finest that you can actually find, and it's one that I fell in love with back in 2007 when I realized that there was a better leather for me for my watch. And the fact that I have the integrated rubber in the inside, because I'm a heavy sweater, that definitely works for me, because it also means that my watch is not absorbing all the moisture from my wrist, that I do have that extra protective coating, just those little extra fine nuances that you don't find everywhere. And then when we talk about getting into the leather, we definitely have to speak about the actual buckle and clasp itself. So with the buckle and clasp itself, you actually get the push button deployment. That's going to be very safe for you, because it means it does have to be pushed or engaged on both sides for the strap to actually open up. And when you do get that feature, you have the ability to say, yes, this is locked on my wrist if I'm going to wear it for those things. Now, I'm not necessarily going to wear this strap for a dive. Let's all be real. However, if I'm having vacation time with the kids and I just want to have a little bit of fun in the water, then yes, I do want something that I know is going to be durable and resistant. And this does it. Even the little fine details of actually at the lugs, instead of it being spring bars, which can actually be damaged or forced out, these are actually screwed in. By having those screwed in, guess what? It does mean that I get a little bit more safety. I can relax a little bit more. I don't have to worry about if one of the kids does something and pulls my watch, or if I hit it on the side of the pool and it actually, starts to open up. Just different little things that I don't want to have to worry about while enjoying myself on vacation, but I can definitely wear and enjoy my 50 Fathoms. And the fact that it is a 5-day reserve, I mean, come on. Let's talk about the fact that we're just pushing the limits in every single endeavor that we can on this watch, yet it is still so underrated. But none of that matters unless you tell us what you think in the comments below here at Swiss Watch Expo.